My name is Dr. Thompson, and I am the Vice President of Academic Affairs. Today, we will share the work that's being done to support our Black students. The work of the Black Excellence Collective and the 10 by 10 Village that Deans Cooks and Wilson will describe builds on work that has been done in the special programs and services with programs like Umoja, Striving Black Brothers, and My Sister's Keeper, and programs in academic services like SIN and RISE, and college-wide initiatives such as Student Access, Success, and Equity, or SASE. However, now we will no longer refer to this work as a project or a pilot, or require that this work seek out and compete for financial or other supports year after year. Instead of scaling up, as we've done with programs that have greatly improved student success rates, such as Umoja and RISE, we are starting at scale. The college will start with the goal of serving all Black students. By implementing these villages at scale for all Black students, we hope to ensure their success using a guided and supported pathway approach to achieve their goals. Going forward, we are institutionalizing and being intentional about integrating the programs and provide a holistic support for Black students. This is a college priority, and we have identified financial, human, and physical resources to embed this support into our day-to-day work. This is already what guided pathways tell us we should be doing. The Black Excellence Collective 10 by 10 Village model is modeled after the African Igbo and Yoruba proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child." The proverb reflects the emphasis of African cultures placed on family and community, and the impact that individuals and groups outside the family have in developing the whole person. We look forward to working with you, and thank you.
Hello, my name is Jamal Cooks, and I'm the Dean of Language Arts. And I'd like to give you a little background on how we arrived at this moment to provide intentional and focused work for our Black students. You see, in 2018-2019, the SASE Committee looked at success data of Black students. Looking at throughput and success rates, we determined that there were some things that we wanted to work on and provide more resources for our Black students. As a result, the 2019-2020 school year was determined to be the Black Excellence Collective, meaning that there was going to be an intentional focus about how we could work with our Black students to provide them with academic and social support to be able to be successful here at Chabot.
Hi, my name is Dr. Jeannie Wilson, and I'm the Dean of Special Programs and Services. I'm going to explain a little more to you about the Black Excellence Collective Villages. There are approximately 2,000 Black students at Chabot, and if we divide these 2,000 by 10, 200 Black students would be able to be supported by these 10 Black Excellence Collective Villages. Each village will consist of a minimum of 10 volunteer members. Each team is focused on increasing impact in areas of interest. Some of those areas include welcoming Black students and getting them through all the steps required to start classes, get connected to academic and social support through counseling, tutoring, mental health services, financial literacy, and also providing professional development and culturally responsive training for faculty, classified professionals, and also administrators. These areas were identified by Black students, classified professionals, faculty, and administrators in the open letters sent to administration. Here in this sample, you can see that each village will consist of a minimum of 10 team members, 1 administrator, 1 counseling faculty, 2 academic instructors, 2 classified professionals, 2 paid student peer guides, and 2 allies. Next, we're excited to have our data and research and Black Cultural Resource Village team members here to tell you a little bit more about what their teams will be working on in the 2021 school year.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia Gordon de Cruz, and I've been a faculty member at a number of institutions. But I came to Chabot because I wanted to be at a community college, and I joined institutional research because I wanted to be part of creating college-wide practices that bring us closer to educational justice.
Hi, everyone. My name is Na Liu. I have a strong passion about data analysis and how to use data and research to support the campus and student success, especially those disadvantaged groups. In this village, I look forward to working with Black and African American students to support your success.
Hi, my name is Indra Liao. I'm the newest research analyst on the team. I joined Chabot because I wanted to work on a diverse campus that cares about its students and especially the success of historically underserved student groups. The 10 by 10 Village is an awesome initiative and I'm glad to be a part of it.
As the Research and Data Village, we believe it is important to name the distrust that many African Americans have of the research community is unfortunately well warranted. Americans have a long history of using research to justify the mistreatment of African Americans. Perhaps the Tuskegee syphilis study from 1932 to 1972 is one of the most egregious examples of this. But the misuse and bias of research goes on. More recently, in the highly controversial book, The Bell Curve, which purported there are connections between race and intelligence, despite considerable evidence to the contrary. But it is research, good research, that was used to debunk this myth. And that's what our offices want to do. We want to supply the research that debunks deficit narratives, and more importantly, we want to supply research that helps us bring us closer to educational equity. So we try to remember the wisdom of Yashima Butt Milner. Milner is the founder of Data for Black Lives. She explains that some narratives were created by data and can only be debunked by data. Big data has been misused to develop the wrong idea of race as a risk factor, which has been leveraged against people of color. But Milner pushes back against this, explaining race is not a risk factor, racism is. And that's our aim, that we can bring forth the wisdom of Yashima Butt Milner in our Research and Data Village.
So how do we do that? First, we collaborate with the people impacted by our research and are ready to change our current practices. For example, when it comes to breakdowns by race and ethnicity, federal and state guidelines ask us to count Latinx and multiracial first, which means that students who chose African American and Latinx are counted as Latinx. Students who chose African American and any other racial or ethnic group are counted as multiracial. Students who chose only African American students are counted as African American students. Umoja faculty and students told OIR that is not how they want to be counted, because let's see who's left out by the federal and state guidelines. The numbers in blue are the African American students who's left out, which is about 28% of all African American students in fall 2019. So after Umoja program provided this feedback, we started to count any student as long as they checks off African American in CCC apply. This way allows more African American students to be seen. We call it the Umoja way. In the meantime, we still produce data for accreditation and other reporting purposes following federal and state guidelines. Second, we disaggregate data by race and ethnicity in most of our reports so that we can identify areas of disproportionate impact and give decision makers the information to change policy in support of educational equity. For example, we hope this graph on course success rates will encourage Chabot community members to ask, what's going on? Why are course success rates consistently so much lower for African American students than other racial and ethnic groups?
And we also try to highlight data that helps the community understand what practices might be successful for rectifying educational injustice. For example, this chart shows the success, non-success, and withdrawal rates in fall 2019 of Umoja classes, African American students, and all other students. Here, we see that students in Umoja classes have higher success rates and lower withdrawal rates than the rest of campus. This is one indication that Umoja's educational and community practices are effective in promoting successful outcomes for its students. So you might ask, if I were to join the data and research village, what would we do? That is a great question. We don't want to answer that completely until we have a village and can collaboratively make that decision. But just to get your ideas rolling, one idea which was initiated by faculty of the Change It Now program and others committed to Black excellence on campus is to develop a structured intervention tool and process that is modeled after the USC Equity Scorecard. We could use this tool to help campus identify equity gaps in student success and to propose and implement practical solutions to narrow these gaps. The Data and Research Village could spearhead the development and implementation of this equity tool. Do join us to make such important initiatives and decisions and to use data and research to help narrow equity gaps on campus. We look forward to working with you.
Professor Robert Bloom began his 2005 article, A Case for School Connectedness, by saying students need to feel connected to be successful. In an effort to accomplish this goal came the Black Cultural Resource Center. The Black Cultural Resource Center was created by students and for students with the help of dedicated faculty and staff at Chabot. It was once a physical space, but with COVID-19 and campus closures, we had to become completely virtual. During the spring and summer of this year, our student leaders worked really hard to bring this vision alive. They held meetings and reimagined this resource center with you in mind. And with that said, welcome to the BCRC. We would like to invite you to come and be part of the BCRC family. Join us and help us make this resource center all that it could be. Bring your knowledge, bring your passion, bring your expertise. We would like to continue developing the BCRC and make sure to provide students with all that they need to feel supported and be successful. We are looking to host events like open mics, game nights, and movie nights. We would also like to host financial literacy workshops, workshops for planning a transfer, mental health workshops, workshops on how to study and manage our time, and all the other workshops that would enrich the lives and experience of Black students here at Chabot. Please join us and be part of this beautiful new thing.
So now let's recap. We have 2,000 Black students in 10 villages. Therefore, each village will be responsible for working with 200 Black students. Now, there is a commitment for this. That means that each one of the members of the villages will need to make a one-year commitment to serve in the village. And from the end of August until October, they will attend weekly meetings in order to be able to look at professional development workshops to better understand how racism and unconscious bias have an effect on equitable practices in teaching and student services, and how to connect and refer students to campus and community resources. The president and senior leadership have committed at a minimum $500,000 for the 10 by 10 work, and also have promised resources that were requested by the Umoja student leaders and by faculty. Each village will be given a total of $25,000 for their village work. In the fall, they will decide how they want to disperse and use these funds in order to better serve Black students. All the decisions will be of their own. The outcomes will be analyzed by our institutional research group to determine the best approaches, strategies, and ideas to help our Black students.
Hello, my name is Skylar Robinson, and I'm the president of Striving Black Brothers and a 10 by 10 student guide. Not to worry, while our 100 village members are still in training, members of the Black Education Association have provided support so the 2,000 new and continuing Black students will be supported in the beginning of the semester. The Black Excellence Collective and Umoja student leaders will host a virtual Black Fall Welcome event during the first week of the fall 2020 semester. During this virtual welcome, new and returning Black students will be introduced to our supportive community of peers, faculty, staff, and administrators who are dedicated to seeing them succeed. They will also get an immersive introduction to Umoja and learn about other learning communities like CIN and other student organizations available to them, along with the resource guide with all Black student resources and the community resource guide created by CalWorks staff. As a Black student athlete at Chabot College, I'm very grateful to see that faculty, staff, and administrators really care about the success of students. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today to learn more about the new Black Excellence 10 by 10. We're not pretending to have all the answers, and in fact, we're building this plane as it's lifting off the ground. We thought that our call to action today would be for more volunteers. But as of July 29th, we reached our goal of 100 village team members. So today, we're proud to announce for the first time that the following are your 10 by 10 village team members for 2021. These 100 faculty, classified professionals, and administrators answered the call this summer to sign up to be part of the change needed to dismantle systems and practices in the structures of Chabot that have disproportionately impacted our Black students for far too long. Together, we can create a safe space for learning, gathering, and healing. It is our sincere hope that the Black Excellence Collective 10 by 10 efforts will help build a college where all students, but especially Black students, experience an academic future rooted in social justice, community building, and allyship. These collective actions and intentional institutionalization efforts are the start to help get us there. All we ask is that if you can't help, don't hinder, and give change a chance. Thank you.